And hello. So, a little bit of a different one again for us here. Thought we'd do a little build video for the Playmobil James Bond Austin Martin. Well, it's been sitting on the shelf for a while, and it seems a sin. I don't like toys in boxes. They've got to be outside the box and on show. Uh, Not one of these ones for investments in the future. Live in the now, that's what I say. So, here we have it, rather nice box. And we'll do a little bit of surgery to do minimum damage to the box for opening her up. So just running a blunt knife under the few glue tabs here to loosen it up and get inside. It's a nice sort of enough little box. Kit number 70578. Really thought they could have been a bit more creative with the kit number. But when we open it up here, we get to see what is a rather nice little display set. And it's probably one of the first times I'm conscious of a Playmobil set being displayed like this. I mean, you could kind of have that like that and be content. Nothing of the on-built elements of the car can be seen, and you can get to see all the figures' names. We've got our henchman there, and we have Odd Job. Goldfinger himself, complete with the little blonde eyebrows, which is a nice touch, and little punch. And the cocked eye of James Bond himself. Then, oh, lid or the roof element came off quite easy there. Pop that back on. And there's the main chassis of the car. So there's not a lot of building going to be required in this one. As you can see, it's very much geared up for the collector's piece, the mechanism for the ejector seat there, and you can see where our number plates and front machine guns are. Doors don't open, unfortunately. Steering wheel does move. No mad buttons inside, but you can see the mechanism there where the ejector seat will be pressed down in. And we'll set that to the side and we'll prep all the bits and pieces. Nothing lurking underneath there, but inside this raised sort of display plinth are the 4 bags of components. Not that there are an awful lot of components. So you can see, even by the few bags that we have, there's not an awful lot of big bits and pieces here. The tyres represent probably the biggest and the most complex element. And then we have our little instruction booklet. And given that it's got a license, we have a little bit about Goldfinger and about James Bond, which is nice. We've got our Odd Job and our henchman, telling us about them. Display of the car and its bits and pieces, and then we're in to the few assembly stages. So you can see there already a couple of very simple steps to be completed. Definitely much more of a collector's piece than obviously a Playmobil toy. But nice enough if you have a young Bond fan sitting in the house, but also if you have an older Bond fan, this is going to look quite well, hopefully, sitting on the sideboard or sitting on the shelf. So we'll stick these away and we'll get to the building parts. The gold seems a little bit excessive. It's a nice touch. Obviously, Goldfinger was smuggling gold with his vehicle. Getting the gold bars, and this seems a little bit overkill. There's nowhere really to keep them, store them. We've got his binoculars from early on in the film, from I think the Alps. We've got the bottoms for henchman's shoes, and our 2 villains' hats. There's Odd Job's hat, which unfortunately his hand can't hold. There we go. Just set him there. And then Goldfinger's cap. bit more awkward to pop on. There we go. And then the shoe tops for our henchmen. No, we'll just stack the gold over there beside them. And I think safe to say we can kind of rattle a little bit faster through most of these elements. There's not an awful lot clever or smart to see here. The wheels have their inners and then their caps, and into the caps you get the retractable blades, so you can take out the tyres of your opponents. Not the first offensive vehicle that Playmobil have done, but nice to see a little detail like that involved in it as well. Fitting the tyres then, fairly straightforward matter. They just slot up and a little click puts them into place. There's no sort of pattern to it. There's no front or back tyres. They're all exactly the same, so don't worry about that. And a little snap, they're in and spin, and a little tug pulls out the blades, and then a firm straight push puts them back in. Job done. So our next element then is the details, the sort of rams and the lights and wing mirrors and things like that. Again, fiddly at worst. There's no sort of big tricks to any of this. Just take a look at the wing mirrors. You'll see that they angle out. So, you know, if you put them in the wrong way, they're going to be facing the wrong direction anyway. But the little rams just clip in. The front and back ones both appear to be exactly the same, as does the rotating number plates. So the only thing you need to watch for there is the number plate sets are numbered 1, 2 and 3. So as long as you put a 1, 2 and 3 on each one, you'll be grand. They just slide in and out, and we have the rear bulletproof plate. Shame it doesn't spring action or anything like that there. It's just a pull up, push down, but a nice little touch that it's got the bullet damage to it as well. And then the little machine guns. Again, kind of a missed opportunity perhaps. They're not retractable, and there is a little bit of movement in them, but I don't think it's sort of anything special or intentional. And those will largely be covered by the little headlight caps. You know, I think it's going to be a case you're either going to leave them on or off yourself as your taste decides. They do come out and come back off slightly easier and better than a lot of the clip-on components that you get with Playmobil kits. Still quite fiddly, but I suppose having some sort of mechanism to flip them or drop them down was just beyond the budget of what's already, I suppose, quite a pricey little piece as it is. Rear lights just pop into the slots. There is a little colour pattern for them as well. Clear, then red, then amber. And once you have that done, you're on to playing with the number plates. And again, the only thing you need to be careful with there is just sort of a steady hand putting those into place. We'll pop the little caps on over the machine guns. I suppose the fact they're clear, you can kind of see through them. You sort of can tell that they're still there, and if you're a fan, you know they're there, I suppose, too. But maybe it's just one of those bits you decide to leave them on or leave them off. You sort of have the car perhaps displayed in what we call it battle mode, or not. So we'll look at our mechanism next, because I think the next bag is the parts for the ejector seat anyway. So we'll pop James into the driver's seat, turn the steering wheel so his legs slide under in, and hand grips the steering wheel, turn him around with that cheeky cocked eye towards his passenger, and he goes. Click on the lids, and then with a little bit of trial and error, grab the front. Hey, let's take a look at that again, shall we? That's kind of fun. Give this a couple of different angles. Let's have a little side-on slow-mo view, shall we? Just to see what that gives us. It's quietly satisfying. Let's try a front-on. There you can see it, and look at that. Lush. Love it. Well, there we go, folks. That is it. Plain and simple. Nice little set. Few disappointments in terms of, I suppose, the features and what it can or can't do, but a nice looking kit, nice looking car, and a nice little homage to James Bond. Thanks for watching. Hope you can give us a little thumbs up, give us a little subscribe to the channel. We cover all sorts of mad stuff, though normally game related. And hope to see you in the next one. Cheers for watching. Bye bye.